here I have this little box that's an elephant, and it is one of those things that has a bunch of pieces and you can take it apart. There's nothing in there. I have a ukulele, if you can see it back there. This little glass right here is a butterbeer thing from the Harry Potter world. Then I have one of those little things that is an Asian drink. You pop a little ball down there. And then this 7-Up bottle is from China when I went there for 8 days. This is Professor McGonagall's wand. I have a little dog up here that my mom painted for me when I was in like 2nd grade. A shell from Hawaii. It's used to have a stand. The stand broke and you can make the little call with it. And then I have the Martyrs map up here, and then I have this little guy over here, and he's from Hawaii as well. He has this weird, I don't know, bear thing made out of a coconut. And then on the side here I have my Disneyland lanyard, and it has all my pins that I collected over the years. So this top shelf is my to be read shelf, and then I have some music stuff over on the right side. But before we get into it, I just want to show off my beautiful TBR jar that's there. So the first thing on this shelf is this little scroll, and it was my best friend 16th birthday party invitation. Erotic interludes, tales told by women, edited by Lonnie Barbuck. Days of Magic, Nights of War by Clive Barker. This is the 2nd book. The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. I have the first book in the Internal Devices series, Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. Small Places, Large Issues, 3rd edition, An Introduction to Social and Cultural Anthropology by Thomas Highland Erickson. Looking for Alaska by John Green. The Complete Grimm's Fairy Tales, illustrated by Joseph Scharl. This is Kelsey's Cop. It is a borrowed book. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, a novel by Mark Haddon. Mythology by Edith Hamilton. Burned by Ellen Hopkins. Sex Killers, When Twisted Desire and Passion Turns into Murder by Richard Glyn Jones. Russian Winter by Daphne Kalate. This is One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I don't have a dust jacket on this because it was a used book. This is a borrowed book from my stepmother, The Bone Woman, a forensic anthropologist's search for truth in the mass graves of Rwanda, Bosnia, Croatia, and Kosovo by Clea Koff. This is a borrowed book from Kelsey. It is called The Silent Boy by Lois Lowry. Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. Before we finish off this side of the bookshelf, I want to show off my little rabbit. This is the rabbit I gave my grandpa when he was in the hospital. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. This is a borrowed book from Kelsey, and it is 1984 by George Orwell. Aragon by Christopher Paolini. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. And then the last bits here are all of my music. I have a CD here, and then all of the rest are records. I have the Frozen soundtrack, the White Album by the Beatles, Isles by Wild Bell, The History of the Real Billie Holiday. It's a special 2-record set. All the songs are of course by Billie Holiday. I have the Girls album, Record 3, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And this is the Paracosm album by Washed Out. So on this shelf, before I get into the books, I have these 2 little statue figurines, and they are from New Mexico that my grandma got me. And then I have this car that was my grandpa's, and it just sits here looking nice and pretty. And then I have another one of those little boxes that has little pieces and you take them out. I'll show you really quickly how this one works because it's a small one. You take out this piece, and then this one slides out, and then this one opens up, and you have a box. And then you have to put them in the correct order or it won't close. I have all of my bookmarks. I have the complete box set of the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. Next, I have the complete trilogy of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series by Stieg Larsson. I am missing the first one because I lent it out to a friend. So that would be The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, that's the one that's missing. The Girl Who Played with Fire. The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest by Stieg Larsson. So then in this pile in the middle, I'm not going to take them all down separately because that just would be crazy. But let's start from the bottom. We have Wonder by R.J. Palacio, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, the first in the Mara Dyer trilogy by Michelle Hodkin, The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold, The Help by Catherine Stockett, Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, and Wicked by Gregory Maguire. I'm pretty sure this is a first in a series, but I'm not sure. I have the Complete Uglies series by Scott Westerfield, but I am missing the third book in the series because I lent it out to a different friend. Uglies, Pretties, the next book here should be Specials, and then the companion novel be called Extras by Scott Westerfield, and it's missing the dust jacket. Then I have my complete box set of the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Once again, I'm not going to take these out because they are stacked in a very difficult way to take them out and then put them back up. But right above that here, I have my VHS version of James and the Giant Peach. It's my last VHS I will ever own, probably. The bind-up of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, including The Golden Compass, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. The Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. Then next here I have the Chronicles of Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. These two books I haven't actually read, everything else on the shelf I have. The Complete Night World series by L.J. Smith, the first bind-up including Secret Vampire, Daughters of Darkness, Spellbinder, the second bind-up including Dark Angel, The Chosen, and Soulmate, and the third bind-up including Huntress, Black Dawn, and Witchlight. Then once again, I'm not going to take these out and about to show them to you because they are piled all together, but this is the Complete Twilight series by Stephenie Meyer. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, which is missing its dust jacket, Breaking Dawn, and then the novella, companion novella, The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, and it is upside down. But the first thing on this shelf are these two books that don't actually fit. Savage by Robert Scott. This is actually a book that my dad let Matt borrow. Murder in the Palais Royale by Cara Black. Little Princess Kailani, In Her Garden by the Sea by Ellie Crow, illustrated by Mari Koski. Galimoto by Karen Lynn Williams, illustrated by Catherine Stock. We Shake in a Quake by Hannah Gelman Given, illustrations by David Utel, and this is actually signed by the author. This is a great place for a hot dog stand by Barney Salzberg, and this is also signed by the author. Then I have a playbook here, Seussical Jr., a student book. The music is by Stephen Flaherty and the lyrics are by Lynn Athrens. I did this musical when I was in middle school. Then I have this little Teachings of the Buddha, edited by Jack Cornfield, Ignite by Lily Paradis, Deaf Like Me by Thomas S. Spradley, James P. Spradley, with an epilogue by Lynn Spradley, To Remain an Indian by K. Sianina Lomawaima and Teresa L. McCarty, To Remain an Indian, Lessons in Democracy from a Century of Native American Education, Ethnograph Eyes, A Teacher's Guide to Classroom Observation by Carolyn Frank, Go Ask Alice by Anonymous, Lies Beneath by Anne Greenwood Brown, Stardust by Neil Gaiman, Eve and Adam by Michael Grant, Wander Love by Kirsten Hubbard, Lost by Gregory Maguire, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, This Song Will Save Your Life by Leela Sales, The Spectacular Now by Tim Tharp, Mind Games by Kirsten White, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. The rest of the books on this shelf I have read. The Vagina Monologues by Eve Ensler, The City of Ember by Jean Duprow, Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick, Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, The Kite Runner by Khalid Husseini, Hoot by Carl Hiassen, Beauty and the Bean, A Modern Legend by Laura Jacobs, The #1 Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith, My Dog Skip by Willie Morris, Maximum Ride by James Patterson, My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult, The Vampire Diaries, The Awakening and the Struggle by L.J. Smith, Dear John by Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks, and this book I haven't actually finished. I've only gotten to about page 20 because I can't get through it. Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells. A Basic Course in American Sign Language, 2nd edition by Tom Humphreys, Carol Patton, and Terrence O'Rourke. This is a bind-up of miscellaneous articles for my Education Across Cultures class. Then these are a haul video, so I'm not going to bother going through all of the titles because that is coming very, very soon. I just have a spiral notebook here. An Introduction to Language, 10th edition by Victoria Fromkin, Robert Rodman, and Nina Hyams. I have another bind-up of miscellaneous articles, but this was for the Childhood and Adolescence class I took last semester. Human Development, 3rd edition by Rhett Dressner. I have another spiral notebook here, and then a planner here as well. The Statues That Walked, Unraveling the Mystery of Easter Island by Terry Hunt and Carl Lippo. The Bean Trees by Barbara Kingsolver. 3 Cups of Tea, One Man's Mission to Promote Peace, One School at a Time by Greg Mortenstern and David Oliver Rellin. Bone Voyage, A Journey in Forensic Anthropology by Shirley Rhine. Post Secrets, Confession of Life, Death, and God by Frank Warren. The original Post Secret book by Frank Warren. I have 2 copies of The Winchester Mystery House, the mansion designed by spirits in San Jose, California. Then here starts some boring stuff. I have 4 books on digital photography, and then these are all yearbooks. Wicked, The Grimmery, a behind-the-scenes look at the Broadway musical. Cultural Anthropology, The Human Challenge by Haviland, Prinz, McBride, and Walrath. Signing Naturally Student Workbook, Units 1 through 6 by Cherry Smith and Ella Maylent and Ken Mikos. 2 little folders here, a binder that's empty, and some school papers. And that is everything.